Now at 5, FEMA is giving an update on its federal disaster assistance application process. The important information you need to know if you rent or if you're a landlord.
And we're getting a closer look today at some of the most significant flood damage in Carmel.
We're taking you to the site of the Hazeldale Parkway bridge collapse and sharing the work ahead of the crews repairing it.
Sunshine and 80s tomorrow, and it's the beginning of a sunny stretch. I'll have your forecast.
Good news to bring your way here on West 56th as Alec Pierce has made his way back to the practice field. We're going to hear from him coming up in 13 Sports.
Cleanup and recovery efforts underway right now across our state 2 weeks after that historic flooding.
Homes severely damaged, and many people are just beginning to figure out how much this is going to cost them. Thanks for joining us tonight at 5. I'm Felicia Lawrence alongside Dustin, who's in for Anne Marie.
Our Jenna Webster is at the State House today where she learned 13,000 people have already applied for federal help.
And that number is only going to continue to climb. So you have until October 25th to submit your application for federal disaster assistance. And now we're getting some important information about what you should do if you were impacted by flooding and you rent your home. FEMA says if you're affected by flooding, whether you're the renter or owner, best practice is to register for federal assistance. The questions on the application will guide you to explain your situation and what damages and losses you have. The one thing you should know, FEMA's individual assistance program is for the primary resident. So if you own the rental property and don't live there, you can't apply for home damage help, but there are other resources.
In this case, we're also going to have Small Business Administration, our partner. And so many times, those landlords with multiple properties, they will, seek a low interest loan for those situations.
If you call 211, the Indiana Housing and Community Development Authority is providing temporary housing grants, so you can get a 30-day hotel stay. Or if you won't be able to move back into your home, they can help pay for a new rental unit, application fee, security deposit, and first month's rent. FEMA can also help pay for temporary housing while yours is being repaired. At the State House, Jenna Webster, 13 News.
All right, Jenna, thank you. And there is more help on the way for Hoosier flood victims. FEMA and the Department of Homeland Security will be in Marion County tomorrow and Saturday, all day, both days. So from 8 in the morning until 6 p.m. to help people register for aid. They'll be set up at the Broad Ripple Family Park Center.
FEMA and the Indiana Department of Homeland Security will also be visiting several other counties to help flood victims register.
They're going to be opening a mobile registration intake center in Delaware County tomorrow. It's going to be at the EMS Station 3 in Muncie from 8 in the morning until 6 Friday night, and then they'll reopen at 10 Saturday morning.
FEMA and DHS will be in Madison County next week. They will open a mobile intake recovery center at the Anderson City Building on Monday and Tuesday. And they'll be at the Pendleton Library Wednesday and Thursday. Now, for the first time since the floodwaters hit, we are getting a closer look at some of the most dramatic damage in Hamilton County.
Alex Almanza takes us to Hazeldale Parkway at 106th Street in Carmel.
Dustin, Felicia, 2 weeks ago, much of what you see behind me was trees, a creek, and a working bridge. The floodwater covered this area, but it carved an entirely new path around it. Blue Woods Creek normally runs just a few feet deep and about 8 feet wide. But as the White River rose, water spilled toward the quarry near Hazeldale Parkway and 106th Street. Now, city officials say that's when what looked like a typical flood changed dramatically.
The problem was it didn't find a low level that flattened out. It found a low level that was 250 feet deep and could hold 9 billion gallons of water. That's a game changer, right? All of a sudden now you don't have slow flow flooding, you have rapid flooding.
That rush of water tore through the creek bed, exposing water, fiber, and power lines, and leaving this bridge unusable. Carmel says its water system stayed online, but a damaged 30-inch main still needs a temporary fix to reconnect 3 wells. Now, crews also built emergency dams to slow the erosion and protect 2 sewage lines. But as of right now, the city of Carmel says the emergency phase is largely over. Dustin?
All right, Alex, thank you. So the next big step we've learned is to test those pipes, reconnect the water main, and work with Hamilton County on a permanent rebuild, including how to eventually reopen Hazeldale Parkway. That is going to be a significant closure for a while.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, happening now in Carmel, though, a rally for relief.
Now, this is an opportunity for you to donate items to help flood victims throughout central Indiana. Let's put the information on your screen here. This drive-through event is taking place at the Lucas Estate at 11303 Ditch Road in Carmel. It's basically 116th and Ditch until 7 o'clock tonight.
So they're going to be collecting non-perishable food items, household items, as well as money to help people in need. And tomorrow there are 2 opportunities in Broad Ripple to help flood victims.
The first is Indigo's Stuff a Bus Flood Relief Drive. You can drop those donations off at the bus, which is going to be parked along Broad Ripple Avenue near the intersection with College Avenue from 5 to 7 tomorrow night. You can also check out a list of the requested items with this story. We've got it online for you at WTHR.com.
Following the drive, there will be a flood relief benefit concert at the Vogue. Doors opening at 7 with the concert at 8. All the money from the $10 tickets will go towards relief.
Hoosiers doing what Hoosiers do best, right?
Yes.
Everyone just wants to help and help rebuild quickly, and we all know it's going to take a long time for that.
Months and years.
Yes.
Yeah, some dry time has helped in these recovery efforts.
Yes, and the rain chance last night was the only rain chance. We talked about it earlier in the week. Only rain chance this week, and I'm going to show you rain chances the next 7 days. This is good news. Nothing in the forecast until perhaps the middle part of next week, so we get another good chance to dry out across central Indiana. We did track storms last night. Bloomington was one area, and Monroe County hit hard with some damaging wind and some heavy rain. We're dry now. Bloomington 82, 80 in Muncie, and currently 81 degrees in Indianapolis. We have baseball at Victory Field. It is a 6:35 first pitch. We'll be near 80 by the 9th inning, middle and upper 70s. It's a Friday for our students at the bus stop, near 60, 77 degrees at lunchtime, and highs tomorrow in the low 80s. I am tracking some 90-degree heat in the 7-day in just a few minutes.
Good news to report today from Colts camp. Alec Pierce has returned to the practice field after dealing with that off-season ankle surgery.
Eli Gain has a look at his anticipated return.
Well, some encouraging news today over on West 56th as wide receiver Alec Pierce was removed from the physically unable to perform list this morning, and he has made his way back onto the practice field. Honestly, just good to see him walking around with a helmet and cleats on and being on the receiving end of some throws as opposed to being on the sideline in street clothes and sandals. Now, he didn't participate in Team 11 on 11 drills, but while all of that was going on, he was on the side field getting in some different routes. So all in all, just a good step forward for Alec to get back onto the field, and now the work will just continue to ramp up.
Yeah, you know, just first time being back out here, wearing the helmet, you know, playing with the other NFL players, right? So it's you got to knock a little bit of rust off, but been working in PT, been working kind of off and on with the trainers. They've been doing a good job preparing me, getting me ready. So, you know, it's just a little different once you get back out here, you know, get timing from Daniel and these other NFL arms.
Alec Pierce also saying that week 1 is the target date to return, but we'll just have to wait and see how everything progresses over the next couple weeks. But certainly today, a good step forward for the $114 million receiver. We're going to have much more from him, as well as Shane Steichen, coming your way on Channel 13 at 6. Covering the Colts for 13 Sports, I'm Eli Gain.
All right, Eli, and you can watch his entire interview with Alec Pierce on the WTHR streaming app.
Looking forward to that.
Right?
Yes. All right, an update tonight out of Tippecanoe County, where deputies say they believe they have found the truck involved in a hit and run. The sheriff's office had asked the public to be on the lookout. They say the driver left the scene in Battleground yesterday, leaving a motorcyclist with serious injuries. Again, they believe they have found the truck, so we'll let you know as soon as we learn more on that story.
A Logansport mother wants answers tonight.
Her son was killed less than 2 weeks ago in an apparent accidental shooting. Kason Schmidt was just 19 years old.
His mother said police believe he was playing Russian roulette with 5 other teens. Our Ashton Hackman shares why she has unanswered questions.
And that mother tells me there is only 6 people who knows exactly what happened inside this house that night. One of them is no longer alive to tell the story. She hopes that Logansport police will help put some of her questions to bed. What happened just seconds before this video is at the center of Chelsea Summers' questions. Her son, Kason Schmidt, was 19 years old. Police say he was shot in the head on August 15th. Summers said police told her the group may have been playing Russian roulette when the gun went off. The teens ran, none called 911 or stayed to give medical aid. Instead, Summers said they alerted Kason's sister and her boyfriend, who found him.
I have a lot of questions and I don't have a lot of answers now.
Kason was airlifted to Indianapolis and declared brain dead the next day, but Summers says questions remain about what happened before he was found. She said police never ran toxicology or gunpowder residue tests. Tests she believed could help answer some of those questions.
They didn't give him a voice when they could have by running the test like that. That's what's bothered me. I don't get to mourn him right now because I have to find it. Like, I have to honor him by making sure that his story is told.
A mother's search for answers as police continue investigating. Ashton Hackman, 13 News.
So heartbreaking for that mother. Logansport police tell us this is still an active investigation. Officers said they hope to be able to give her some more answers and clarity once that investigation is closed.
A Marion County judge will sentence a man in October for a Christmas Day mass shooting. A jury found Dazan Garzon guilty of murder, 4 counts of battery by means of a deadly weapon, and 4 counts of aggravated battery. A woman died and 5 other people were hurt in the shooting on December 25th of 2024. It happened in the middle of the afternoon near 42nd Street and North Arlington Avenue. Garzon pled guilty to the felony firearm sentencing enhancement following the trial.
Coming up, it's a flooding problem you may not have realized.
The issues people are now experiencing with mosquitoes. It's ahead at 5:30. First at 5.
She's always said this to me. You do you and I'll do me, and together we'll be us.
A closer look at Dolly Parton's inner circle.
Looking forward to this. How those who knew her best, from Miley Cyrus to her own family, they're all remembering the Queen of Country. And not wasting the items left in memory of Dolly.
How they're now being put to good use.